Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. This will be an hour-long flow class where we get to explore our breath and get a little bit more out of our heads and into our body. So really try and focus in on the areas that we're working. I'll guide you through the entire practice, but if you ever need a break, honor yourself and take a step back. We always go for breath first, then form, and then depth. Okay, so we'll get started in a child pose. So you can bring your knees out wide and arms stretch out in front of you, palms face down, forehead reaches the mat. Or you can try out a different variation. Knees in together, forehead towards the mat. And arms and hands are palms face up by your hips. You can try out both and see what feels better for you today. But whatever you choose, try and release tension between the shoulders, allowing the shoulder blades to fall away from one another. Soften through the hips, bringing them closer to your heels with each and every breath. Draw attention to your breath. And see if you can smooth it out a little bit further. Notice if the breath is getting trapped in the chest, and see if you can move it further down into the belly. Perhaps feeling the backside body expand upwards towards the ceiling. And here at the start of class, start to think about an intention that you'd like to use throughout class to keep you going. A couple of suggestions might be breath, or momentum, or confidence. Just something to bring to the forefront of your mind when times get tough. Maybe when a bead of sweat is dripping down your face, you feel like you're gonna fall. Come back to your intention and see if you can push that edge just a little bit further. Take one full breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. Empty the lungs, squeeze out a little bit more. Pause at the bottom. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. Now seal the lips and continue to breathe in and out through the nose. And if your hands aren't already stretched forward, bring them there now, keeping the connection of your forehead to the mat. And stretch your fingertips so far forward towards the top of your mat that the wrists and the elbows and the forearms hover off of the mat. Come up onto the fingertips. Maybe walk a little bit further forward, stretching into the side body. Walk your fingertips over towards the right, rocking the head towards the right side of your forehead just a little bit more. Maybe left hand comes on top of right or towards the right hand. Keep the left hip anchored towards your heels and stretch into left side body. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back body. One more deep breath. And then on your inhale, bring your fingertips back to center. Rock your way over to the left side, grounding through right side hip and breathing into the right side body. Fanning through the right side rib cage. Deep inhale, soft exhale. And then walk your way back to center. Bring your hands closer to the body and lift yourself up into a seated position on the knees. Roll the shoulders down the back a couple of times. Backwards and then forwards. One shoulder and then the other. Seeing what type of mobility you have today. And then extend the arms overhead, grab for opposite elbows, and start to move your upper body in circles. Dipping your elbows forward towards the left side, forward towards the center, and then towards the right, all the way back towards the back of your space. And then reverse this motion. Try and keep the hips anchored down and find more space and more movement in your thoracic spine, the middle part of your back. And then extend the fingertips towards the sky. Bring the opposite elbow in front. Maybe the grip that feels a little bit more funky. And then barrel roll the rib cage, just snaking the spine. You can move as quickly or as slowly as you'd like. And pull your elbows away from one another. Switch directions if you haven't already. And keep the breath alive. One more full roll or rotation. And then extend your arms up towards the sky, gaze comes up. And then exhale, hands, palms face up into your lap. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Soften the eyes. And breathe here in Hero's Pose or Virasana. Mentally preparing yourself for a pretty challenging practice. Good. Take one deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. And then close the mouth and keep breathing in and out through the nose. Make your way into a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under and just hover the knees about 1 or 2 inches off of the mat. Press your heels towards the back of your space so that you can feel an opening in the back sides of your calves. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward, drawing the shoulder blades a bit further onto backside body. Keep the core engaged. Keep pressing away from the mat. A couple more breaths here, just engaging the core, shortening the distance between the lowest rib and the top of your hips. And then release down into tabletop position. Shift your hips up and down, back and forth, side to side, getting into the wrists a little bit more. Push the mat away, and then dip down into the shoulders and see what that feels like. Some exploration of movement here, pushing the mat away and then dipping deeper down. And then come back to neutral, flip the toes under, and then send your hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up and back, taking an internal rotation, almost like you are stamping your foot on the back wall. Keep engaging through the core and sending left heel towards the mat. It never actually has to reach the mat. It's just the direction of movement. So keep pushing the right heel towards the back of your space, lift it up high, and now externally rotate that right hip, bend into the knee, and try and find the heel or the toes underneath your left shoulder or armpit. Keep lifting that right knee up towards the sky. Feel for an engagement in outside of right hip and glute. One inhale here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. Try and keep an even distribution of weight into the hands, pressing into the knuckles. And allow your head to drop if you're hanging on to any tension in the back of the neck. Lift the left leg higher. Take an external rotation to the left hip. Bend into the knee. And try and find your toes or your heel underneath the right armpit, keeping the shoulders level with one another. One deep breath here. And then come back into downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands. Take little steps towards the front of your space. Walking the feet in between the hands. Maybe your knees bend. Once you get there, that's all right. Grab for opposite elbows, or maybe interlace your fingertip or your fingers and bring it to the nape of your neck, allowing the upper body to feel very heavy. Pulling the skull away from the back of your neck. So to feel a bit more sensation, pull your shins away from one another without actually moving your feet, and feel for how that travels all the way up the backs and sides of your legs, up into the sit bones. Drop your fingertips towards your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift, fingertips coming to either your shins or your thighs. Rock a little bit of your weight forward into the toes. Extend top of the head forward. Deep inhale here, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up into a standing pose, arms rise overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna move through what is called a sun salutation A. And it's just to create a little bit more heat within the body. So drop your hands by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step your feet back into an upper push-up plank position. We're gonna move through our flow, which is upper push-up. Exhale into lower push-up, elbows squeeze in towards the body. Inhale, upward facing dog, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, hips drop towards the mat. And then exhale, flip the toes under, downward facing dog. About 2 full breaths here. Keep extension through the spine and engaging through the quads. Look forward between the hands and either step or hop towards the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One breath, one movement. Hands come by your sides. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Push the mat away on your inhale. Exhale, lower push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. 2 full breaths here. Keep wrapping your triceps down and away from the top of your face. Look forward between your hands. Step or hop towards the front of your mats. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now step your left foot out towards the left of your space. So you turn towards the left wall, wherever you are. Bring your hands to your hips and bring your toes inward towards each other, just slightly, heels out. Stand up nice and tall, engage through your thighs, and then exhale, lead with your heart, and come into a wide-legged forward fold. If you feel you're rounding through the spine, come out a little bit, and then keep breathing into the backs of your hamstrings. Maybe fingertips come down towards your mat or the floor, and rock your weight a little bit into the toes so that your hips can be in line with your ankles. Maybe elbows start to bend, and you can send your heart towards the floor even deeper. Dropping the head. Keep pressing into the outsides of the feet. Should provide a nice stretch to the outside of your shins and calves. One more exhale to fold forward. And either keep your hands where they are or bring them to your hips. And then with a flat spine, inhale all the way up into a wide-legged stance. Turn your toes out, heels in, and then bend into the knees. Knees and toes facing the same direction. And try and get pretty low with the hips. You can keep your hands on the tops of your thighs and move back and forth into rocking weight into one foot and then the other. Or you can hold it in a static position and lift your arms up overhead. Keep the core pulling in and shoulder blades down the back. Keep the hips low. I know this is tough. Dip a little bit deeper. One more inhale in to lift the upper body. And then exhale, stand up straight, hands come to heart center. Take a moment here. Inhale. And then exhale, bend back into the knees, arms lift overhead. We're gonna do something called breath of fire, rapid exhales out of the nose. So if you have anything in your nose, try and snip it in or snip it out if you have a tissue nearby. And close the lips and focus on the exhales out of the nose. Snap your belly in. The inhales will come automatically. So we're gonna do it for 10 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up all the way. Hands come to heart center. Good. Turn the toes in, heels out. Hands come to hips. Lead with the heart, wide-legged forward fold. Hands can stay at the hips, encouraging some activation on the outsides of your hips. And then if you trust yourself, maybe gaze turns back in between the legs, allowing the crown of the head to move forward or down towards your mat. Inhale, lift all the way up. Turn the right toes in and stand towards the front of your mat. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands down, step the feet back, and come onto the elbows or forearms. Forearms are parallel with each other, making an 11. Try and keep the hips and the shoulders in one line. The legs engaged. And the heels pressing back towards the back of your space. Press into your elbows, elevating the back of the heart a little bit more towards the ceiling. Measure out hips width distance with your feet, and then roll onto the right forearm. Left arm can lift up towards the sky. Side plank. Deep inhale. And then exhale, come back to center onto the forearms. Inhale here. Exhale here. And then move on to the other side. Balancing weight on that left forearm and the sides of your feet. Keep lifting up through the fingertips, not to dump any weight into the left shoulder. Inhale, and then bring it back to center. Press into both hands. Coming into an upper push-up plank position. Bend into the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Bring the feet about hips or mats width distance, so wide-legged down dog, and then walk the toes in towards your hands a little bit more. Plant weight into the left hand, into the left knuckles, and then wrap the right hand or arm underneath the left armpit, either going to grab the left ankle or the outside of the left ankle, or maybe just feeding it through that space on your left side. Keep the core tucking in. Really engage through the legs. And gaze comes towards the front of your space if your neck allows. One more exhale to twist. And then bring it back to center. Left hand lifts, planting weight into the right hand, and twist underneath that right bicep. If it's available, grab for the outside of the right ankle and twist from the low back, the thoracic spine, and then the cervical spine. One more exhale to twist, and then bring it back to center. Shift your weight forward into this wide-legged plank position. Take one push-up here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the knees down to the mat. Press back into a child's pose position. Regain your composure, regain your breath. It looks like somebody is trying to get into the class. All right, we're about halfway through. I don't know if that's a good thing for you or not. Probably. We've been working quite a bit. I know I'm feeling a bit toasty. Definitely have some sweat building up on my forehead. Press into a tabletop when you're ready. Take your time. Tuck the toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up and back. Bring it through in between the hands. Come into a low lunge position. Untucking the left toes. Plant the left hand down. Open up towards the right side. One inhale to lift up through the right fingertips. Exhale to twist. And then bring the right forearm on top of the right thigh. And then untuck the left toes, or tuck the left toes under, straighten through the left leg. And then ground the sole of the left foot down. So we should be in heel to heel alignment or something of that nature. And then reach the left arm up overhead, side angle pose. Create a 90-degree angle with the right knee, stacking right knee over the right ankle. And ground into the outer edge of the left foot. Lift up through the left fingertips, one last inhale. And then exhale, plant that left hand down. Come up onto the left toes and twist open towards the side. One more time. Exhale to twist. And then bring both hands down. Step the right foot back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bring it through between the hands. Come down into a low lunge. Left hand plants. Reach your right hand plants. Reach your left hand up. Twist. Left forearm to left thigh. Untuck the toes. Plant the sole of the right foot down. And then reach up into your side angle pose. Feel for an opening along right side body, right hip in particular. Keep angling the tailbone towards the right ankle. One more inhale to lift. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Come up onto your right toes. And then twist open towards the left once more. One breath here. Exhaling to twist. Bringing right shoulder towards left knee, and then plant both hands, pick up the left foot, shoot it back, downward facing dog. Look forward between the hands, step or hop towards the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend into the knees and slowly make your way up to a standing position. Keep the intention alive, moving slowly. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, palms face a bit forward. Good. Now step the left foot back about 2 feet-ish. And align your hips so that they're square with one another. Flex the the right foot, bend into the left knee, sending the hips back. Upper body is angled in a somewhat 45-degree angle. Breathe into the back of the right hamstring. Keep the toes flexed back towards your face. One more inhale. And then exhale, rock weight into the right foot. Bend the right knee, straightening through the left. And then maybe the left foot floats. So the upper body is in a 45-ish degree angle, one long line of energy from the top of your head all the way towards the left heel. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale, straighten through the right leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Left foot can still be on the floor if this is too much. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Once more. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Send the left toes back. And reach your arms up into a crescent pose or a high lunge. Inhale to bend deeper into the right foot or right knee. And then exhale, hands plant towards the mat. Walk the right foot over towards the right, heel toeing the foot over towards the right, maybe even it goes off of the mat, that's okay. Come down onto the left knee and open up the right knee towards the right side of the room. You can come onto the outside edge of the right foot, but just push the right knee away from the body. You can untuck the left toes. And if this is enough, you can stay here. Or maybe both hands come down and you can come down onto your forearms if you have the space. Maybe you get about halfway there, that's okay. Try and let go of holding on to the muscles in the upper back. Look down towards the mat or even towards the back of your space, releasing through the back of the neck. Take one full inhale here. And then exhale, let it go. Start to press into the hands. Untuck the left toes. Straighten through the left leg. Send the right foot back. And then travel through your flow or press back to downward facing dog. This practice can be very customizable, so just listen to your body. If you don't feel like you can go through another push-up in this class, and just press back to down dog, no shame. Modifying and knowing your body is actually a sign of strength and not weakness. So if you ever need to modify, feel free to do so, even though I might not prompt that. Look forward between the hands and step or hop towards the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into the knees and come all the way up to standing. Take your time. There's no rush. And then once you're there, place your hands on your hips and move the right foot back. About heel to heel alignment, you can walk the left foot out towards the left for a little bit more space in the hips to coax right hip forward, left hip back. Flex through the left foot, Bend into the right knee and send your hips back in space. Feel for that pulling upwards from a couple of inches below your belly button, all the way up through the crown of your head. Ooh, my left hip just cracked. I don't know if you heard that. That feels good. And then start to shift weight into the left foot, bending the left knee. And then maybe floating that right heel. One long line of energy from your right heel all the way through the crown of your head. Straighten through that left leg if you can, and then bend right back into it. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. About 2 more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Send the right foot towards the back of your mat. And then inhale the arms overhead for high lunge or crescent pose. Tuck the floating ribs in, engaging through front side body. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, plant the hands towards your mat. Come down onto the right knee and walk the left knee over towards the left. Untuck the right toes if they're not already untucked, and press into the left knee. Moving the right thigh, or the inner thigh away from you. And then maybe both hands come down out in front of you. Come onto your forearms if that's accessible. And breathe into that left hip. The outer side of the left hip and the front side of your right hip. Check in with your breath. If you're prone to making lists about things that you have to do, if you find that your mind has wandered off of your mat and out of the present moment, use your breath as a tool to focus your mind back on the task at hand. Counting your inhalations and exhalations is a great technique. And you can use this not only while you're practicing here, but out at work with your family. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Good. Start to press into the hands. Untuck the right toe, straighten through the right leg. And then bring the left foot towards the right foot, holding in an upper push-up plank position. Inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward into an upper push-up plank and lower down all the way, belly towards your mat. In 5, 4, stick with it. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Untuck the toes and press your toes in towards the mat. Hands can stay where they are, just underneath the shoulders. Keep your elbows in towards the body. Inhale, lift up a little. Keep your elbows bent, shoulder blades down the back, shoulders away from the ears. Elevate the chest. And feel the muscles in your thoracic spine, the middle part of your back working. One more inhale. Exhale all the way down, forehead towards the mat. A little mini break here to catch your breath. And then inhale, elevate the head. Keep pressing the toes in towards the mat. Maybe lift a little bit higher, pressing more weight into the hands, extending through the elbows. And then lift your feet off of the mat, press the toes together. Float your hands, hover them off of your mat, and then extend your elbows towards straight. Keep breathing here, pulling forward and back while also lifting up, finding some float, and then exhale all the way towards your mat. Flip the palms face up, turn one cheek towards your mat, and relax. Breathe into your low back. And then turn your face towards your mat. Inhale, the toes lift up. Bring your arms to float over your mat. Look forward. Keep squeezing backside muscles. Little sips of air here. Widen your feet about 6 inches and then press them back together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, press together. Inhale, widen. Exhale, press them together. One more inhale to lift. And then exhale, come all the way down. Palms flip up, turn the other cheek towards your mat. And just find a space to look at on the corner or the side of your mat. Or close your eyes so that you stay present in the room. Bend into your knees and windshield wiper the shins back and forth. Releasing through the low back a little bit more. And then bring them back down towards your mat. Hands come underneath the shoulders. We're gonna shoot right back up into an upper push-up plank. 1, 2, 3. Sound effects necessary. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Step or hop towards the front of your mat. Bend into the knees and send your hips towards your mat. Good. Start to move your way back. First, elevate the spine, and then decline towards your mat, keeping core strong. Heels pressing in towards the mat. Stick with it for 5, 4, hold it, 3, 2, and 1. Roll all the way onto your back and bring your knees in towards your chest. We're not done yet. There's just a little bit more effort here. But roll out your knees in circles. Give yourself a little squeeze. and rock from side to side. And then stack your knees over your hips and have your ankles in line with your knees. Bring your hands interlaced behind your neck and extend the right foot forward. Tap the right elbow to left knee. Inhale, switch, or exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Again, just focusing on the exhale. The inhale will come automatically. You can move as fast or as slow as you'd like. Sometimes that slow burn feels really good in the body. You can really feel each and every articulation. Keep the low back pressed towards the mat. No space in between the low back and your mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Rock from side to side. Plant the feet down onto your mat and feel for that you can brush the back sides of your heels, like the Achilles heel. That's about the right distance for where we're going next, which is bridge pose. So start to elevate the hips off of the mat, just slowly here. And as you lift, tuck one shoulder underneath the backside body a little bit more, and then the other. Interlace your fingers below the hips, straighten through the elbows, and push the pinkies in towards your mat, and use that as a gas pedal to lift the hips higher. Keep the chin away from the chest. Breathe into the tops of your thighs, the front sides of your hips, and your core. One more inhale to lift the hips even higher. And then exhale, come all the way down. Extend the left foot forward and then bring the right knee in towards the chest. Interlace your fingers around the right shin and pull the knee in towards the right armpit, bypassing the rib cage. Keep both shoulder blades rounded on the mat. Squeeze into the right hip for one more exhale. And then bring the right knee across the body towards the left, twisting. Move the left hip underneath the right, adjusting the spine so that it's in one long line. And then bring your arm, your right arm out like a T or a cactus position, or a goal post for those football fans. And gaze out towards the right hand. It's okay if that left knee or that right knee doesn't find the mat. A grounded right shoulder is so much more important. Smooth out the breath. Try and soften with each exhale. Start to make your way back to center. Pressing both heels into the mat in somewhat of a bridge position, just to realign the spine and the relationship of the hips. And then extend the right leg. And then bring the opposite thumb on top, interlacing your fingers around the left shin. And then bring that left knee into the left armpit. Use your biceps to pull the knee closer in towards the body. And then bring the left knee across the body towards the right, adjusting the hips so that the left hip stacks on top of the right. Keep both shoulders grounded and look out towards the right or the left hand, whether it's extended like a T or in a cactus position. About 2 more of your full breaths. And then make your way back to center, bending both knees, pressing into the feet, adjusting the hips. And then if there's any pose that you'd like to do before we seal off practice in our Shavasana, you can move there now. But if you're ready for our final resting pose, extend the legs long, take up as much space as you'd like. Bring your arms out wide, hands towards the hips, palms face up. Close your eyes. And allow the entire body to sink deeper into the mat. Perhaps feel a sensation of heaviness, while also feeling as light as a feather, almost as if you could levitate. Relax through your jaw and allow your eyeballs to sink deeper into your skull. Start to deepen the breath. Coming back into the present moment, back into your body. Starting to wiggle through the fingertips and toes. Start to circle out the wrists, the ankles. Bring your feet close together and bring your arms up overhead, hooking the thumbs. Big stretch here, pulling fingertips away from the toes. And then bring your knees in towards your chest, wrapping the arms around your shins. One big final squeeze. And either roll onto either side of your mat or start to roll from your tailbone to the top of your back a couple of times until you reach a seated position. Find a comfortable seat and keep a soft gaze with the eyes or eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. And a soft breath out of the mouth. Once more, inhale. And exhale out of the mouth. Take note of how you feel. Perhaps lighter than you did at the start of class, hopefully a bit more open. Try and carry this openness throughout your day. And spread it to each person that you come in contact with. Thank you so much for coming to your mat today. Peace and light. Namaste.